On this day in Devember, we spent some time taking something that we made faster yesterday and making it slower today. That and more in today's Devember 2020 update for Devember 5th. Hello, fellow Sublime Text Fanatics. Odette Nerd here for your Devember 2020 Devember Day 5 devlog update. Now, remember, Devember updates are, and Devember time per se, is usually sparse on weekends through Devember because that's the time to spend time with family. So on those days, expect that development time is right around that hour and a little bit more. But not usually much more amount of time spent to fulfill the agreement, but still have fun with family. So let's go ahead and jump on into code because we can see what we actually did here. Now, unlike last time, these changes have already been pushed up and it's pretty early in the day. As we can see, it's currently 4 o'clock for me right now because, again, I have some more video work to do later on tonight. So I got some development work done early today. And the first thing we did was this. I had a very specific plan for what I wanted to do, but while I got started, before I got started, rather, I should say, I realized I made a little bit of a slight boo-boo yesterday without realizing it. And while I was tightening up all of the YouTube requests in the code, I spent time changing the names of various variables, which were very long and from a demo, to be request because I was going to do short things with them. However, as it turns out, this argument is also called request, which didn't matter previously because redefining it to be something else using part of it like this would actually do what I want. But for things that I wanted to do today, I needed to be able to get at that request object again. So the first thing that I had to do was go through here and rename these variables. We can see here from list to list request, and from this one as well, from request to response, to match the channel one, which I did previously, just to get things working kind of the way we would like them to work. And then I went on to test to make sure that things were cool and immediately found a bug that I have previously fixed way before Devember. And it has everything to do with the idea that when you ask for details for a video, you ask for one of the parts of data you want is the snippet in my particular case, because I want to get the tags, as we can see right here with these two lines that were changed, which display in the bottom part of the window. If you haven't seen one of these YouTube videos yet for the YouTube editor and how it displays the contents of a video for you to edit its metadata, I would encourage you to check out one of the live streams because that information is totally in there. It's a lot of testing going on. But it turns out that tags won't be present if the video doesn't have tags, and it just so happens I have a couple of videos on the channel that are, private or unlisted that I used to test various things while I was setting things up. Use one of those plugin crashes because it expects there to be tags and there aren't. So the way I fixed that last time and the way I fixed it here, even though the result is now a Dotty dictionary, is to use get instead of a raw key access because this allows you to provide a value, and we're like good to go on that front. So that solved that problem. And then the last thing was this. Now, again, if you haven't seen this, you might want to look at one of the live streams, but one of the things we can do in this package is display a list of videos to be able to copy a link or to be able to open it in a window, see the thumbnail, see the title, the description, the tags, to be able to edit the metadata for the thing. And in order to display that details page, we need to make a specific request to get video details, because what we get from the gathering the list of things in the uploads playlist for videos on the channel is the snippet information, which has some information, but not all of the information. Well, it has all the information we need for this, but not all of the information that we might like. Because one of the things I'd like to do is modify, and this is probably something that will happen tomorrow, perhaps, unless something else comes up. Maybe we'll save it for doing a live stream instead on Tuesday. So remember, use the button down below, time subscribe, share, ring the bell notification icon, know when we go live on the channel. But one of the things we want to display is in the quick panel list, not only the name of the video and a link, but maybe also information like the number of thumbs up, the number of thumbs down, the view count, whether it's private or not. And not all of that is information that you can get in the snippet. You have to request video details. So I discovered by looking into the API that, of course, we could do this fairly easily, right? When you fetch the details for a playlist, maybe we could even look at the code here. One of the things that this is what we were used to do, ask for all of these things to get various information. But we can also just ask for content details. And this just literally gives you two things for every video. It gives you the video ID and the time that it was posted to the channel. And that's it. You don't get any title, none of that other information, which is not generally useful except for a case like this, because we could fetch all of the videos in the uploads playlist getting just the video ID. And then, as it turns out, the call that we use for video details, as I discovered yesterday working on this code, this ID value that you provide can be a single video ID, or it can be a comma separated list of video IDs. So if this request gives us a list of video IDs, then surely we could do what we are doing here, request just the content details, and then also grab the list of all of the videos as video IDs, make a request, grab the values, and we're good to go. And I spent pretty much the entire hour, less the other quick changes, working this part out because it turns out that the request here for getting information on a video, as I said, you can provide it one video ID or a comma separated list. There's an upper bounds on that, which as far as I can tell is 50, but that's not documented in the API documentation that I was able to find. And unlike getting the contents of a playlist where we can say, please give me 50 results at a time, and it just keeps re-requesting in a loop. The request is capable of paging and saying, here's the first 50 of the results on page 1. Go again, you'll get page 2 for 51 through 99 or 51 through 100, however, the math works out on that. This doesn't support that. You can give it one list, one video ID, you can give it two video IDs, you can give it 50 video IDs. You give it 51, it throws an error. And there's no way to get it to page. Trying to get it to page causes it to throw an error as well. So took a while to figure that out and narrow in on what was actually going wrong. So what we actually do is get the list of all video IDs, and then this magic list comprehension splits it up into so that ID list becomes a list of lists where each sublist has 50 or fewer items, 50 as many as possible, and then the last item in the list would have whatever the remainder is. And then we can generate a subloop over this. Now, this absolutely works, but the issue with this, so one of the things I was pretty excited about yesterday is that by changing this max results from what it was to 50, which is the biggest it can be, the time that it took to execute this query and get the contents of the list went down dramatically to just sort of a partial second. It was practically instantaneous. And it gets even faster when you only ask it for a little bit of information and the other end doesn't have to gather a whole bunch of it. Not marginally, like remarkably faster, but slightly. However, having to gather through multiple queries the full video details of absolutely everything, as this is doing, does bring it down to be at least as slow as it was before, possibly even slower. So I have a to-do here because what we really want nominally from the video list is information that we might want to display in a quick panel. So once we narrow in on exactly what it is we want to display there, we could constrain the information that's put in this sub request, or I guess now it's down here, to only ones that provide us the information that we actually care about for that purpose, because we still have the ability to get full video details if we want. That's something that's going to be coming in a future devlog, possibly tomorrow. We'll see how that part all plays out. But that's going to do it for this particular devlog. Remember, if you like these devlogs and you want to see more about the project as it's going on, use the buttons down below, thumb, subscribe, and share. YouTube will tell you all about it. Subscribe to my other channel down in the description if you want to see regular tutorials, which I do on my other channel. And coming up Tuesday, and every Tuesday and Thursday all through the month of November, I'm doing live streams right on this very channel where you can actually see this package being developed real time, ask questions. It's a good time. And until the next time you see me, which will probably be tomorrow at some time, this is ODAT Nerd asking you to please have a sublime day.